Red Sox fans have very long memories, so I'm sure you all remember this October night in 2003. Aaron Boone's 11th inning homer in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series sent the New York Yankees on to the World Series. Boston's season was, of course, over. Another chapter in the team's long history of pain and futility. Soon after that loss, the Red Sox were presented with a tantalizing opportunity. The Texas Rangers were looking to trade Alex Rodriguez, arguably the best player at the time. It was a potential blockbuster and the subject of The Deal, a documentary about just how close A-Rod came to wearing a Sox uniform. Here's a clip in which former Sox brass explained how it almost went down.
So in essence, we were trading Manny and Lester and Nomar for A-Rod, Maglio, and Brandon McCarthy.
We wanted to be bold. We wanted to win. So here was a chance after the near misses of 2002 and especially 2003 to give life to that boldness.
It was about 3 in the morning, maybe even later, and we knocked on Tito's door, who had just been hired a week before, and we wrote out the lineup for him. And he literally started dancing in his hotel room like in his underwear. Best player in baseball, most marketable player in baseball in his prime. What wasn't to be excited about him?
Well, as we all know, the deal never happened, and both Manny Ramirez and John Lester would go on to play key roles in Boston's 3 World Series titles to follow. I'm joined now by the filmmakers behind The Deal. Brothers Nick and Colin Barnacle are co-founders of Prospect Productions. Welcome to both of you.
Thanks for having us.
So what happened? We actually signed the deal. What happened?
Yeah, A-Rod signed it. He should have been a Red Sox, but the Players Association killed it at the 11th hour, 12th hour, I should say. Basically because you can't get back on a major league contract. They do not allow that.
So he was going to give up part of his salary.
He was going to give up.
Texas Rangers were paying him some enormous salary.
Oh, they were paying him. So the interesting fact about this is that the Texas Rangers paid him $252 million, which was $50 million more than George W. Bush sold the team for only like 2 years before.
Wow.
So our president sold the team for about $200, and about 2 years later they gave one player more money than the whole team was worth.
Is that rule still in effect? Because it seems like you could
it is. It's a principle, actually. It's the Major League Baseball Players Association, which is the strongest union in the world, decided that if he gave a little bit of money back now, then the players, ownership might be able to tell players, hey, give a little bit of money back now. So kind of like the NFL, where you're able to cut guys.
All right, so I want to play another clip. This is where Theo Epstein finds out for the first time that not only is A-Rod not going to play for the Red Sox, but he's actually going to go play for the Yankees.
That's right.
It had all the makings of a happily ever after story until it wasn't.
Not only had the deal fallen apart for us to get the best player in baseball, but he just landed in the Yankees' lap. We were devastated because we just felt like we got, really beaten by the Yankees to get A-Rod.
Again, this feeling of no matter what we do, things are always just going to work out for those damn Yankees.
I have to say, I'm a little bit surprised that Theo Epstein agreed to talk to you about this.
And people keep saying that in this building especially.
Yes.
Theo is unbelievable. He was more than gracious. We did that here in Boston right before his charity event. And he was unbelievably funny and prepared. And he sat with us for about 90 minutes, I think, and had some great stories about this. And you got to remember, at the time, I think he was under a lot of pressure, but he was only 28, 29, same age as A-Rod. So it was 2 young guys talking about $250 million.
Same age as us.
Now.
Yeah. So you do not get into what happened in A-Rod's later career. I mean, right now it's a disaster. He's been suspended for 162 games over the steroid use. He's effectively done as a Yankee. Did you just decide to make it, this is just about this? This is not about what happened?
Yeah, it felt more ironic. In a way, it's like, over the last couple months, it's been, he's been just this lightning rod of negativity. And a lot of times people take it very seriously, almost too seriously. So we kind of wanted to step back from that and do, hey, 10 years ago he was a golden child, a golden boy, Babe Ruth of baseball, Latino, Bud Selig loved him, MLB loved him. And it's kind of ironic that, you know, this whole thing went down that way, because it almost felt like fate that he went to the Yankees. And the reason we didn't want to, like, touch the steroid thing, because it's kind of funny looking back on it and ending it with the Red Sox grief and ending it with the Yankees joy, because 10 years later, in hindsight, you're like, oh, man, that was totally different.
Maybe, do you think, Nick, that the same thing would have happened here? Did we dodge a bullet? Would Aaron have? Would Scott Boras have gotten him into taking steroids? You know?
So tough. Well, I don't know if Scott Boras got him into taking steroids, but
not Scott Boras, the other guy. Yeah.
A-Rod Alex Rodriguez is a very complicated character, and it's one of those grains of sand moments. You know, if he had come here, would everything have changed? His wife at the time, now they're divorced, said that she was very comfortable here. She had family, and I think Lowell. Then do I think that things would have played out similarly for Alex? Yes, I do. I think that he was always going to do what he did, and it turns out he probably was doing steroids at the time. But we didn't get into that in this film. It's literally a look back at 10 years ago, what everyone thought. And that one moment, that one winner, and we did not kind of look into the future.
Yeah, nobody knew about it back then. It's just that we're covering that one moment. Nobody knew,
So, I mean, would Lucchino and company have been able to build the same kind of team in hindsight if A-Rod had come here, because he would have been taking a big chunk that they eventually spread out?
I mean, if they had done the deal, if they had spread the money out, if the Players Association has come in and said, the deal's done, don't worry about it, we're accepting what you guys are putting on the table. Theo told us, and so did Jed Hoyer, the assistant GM at the time, and what I believe is, of course the Red Sox would have been better. This was the best guy in baseball. He was shortstop, hitting 50 home runs. Now, we don't have Nomar, and we probably don't have Manny Ramirez, but we have literally the best player in baseball. Maybe everybody looked at him like past a generational talent. This guy might have been the best baseball player people were saying since, you know, Mickey Mantle.
Yeah. All right, it's a fascinating tale. Nick, Colin Barnacle, thanks for coming in.